Unbelievable move.
Otto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Waltman. A third one saved. A fourth. Waltman is stoning everybody.
Well, it is Somebody Scream Night here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. We'll explain about that in just a moment, but the question is, who will be doing all the yelling at game's end? Find out next as the Florida Tropics host the San Diego Sockers in Game 4 of the Major Arena Soccer League's Sunshine Series here in the Sunshine State. Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome in to the RP Funding Center as these two teams get ready to do battle, and both will be loaded for bear here this Friday evening. That's because they both come in off losses yesterday. We'll talk more about those games in just a minute, but what it really means in the end is the loser here tonight is staring an 0-3 weekend very much in the face with the concluding games of this Sunshine Series coming Sunday here. And so they both are, I don't want to say desperate for a win, but the fact that both teams lost yesterday certainly does raise the stakes much higher here on this Friday evening. As we said, it is Somebody Scream Night here in Lakeland, and there's a good reason for that. Our usual public address announcer, Brandon Crotchett, has become something of an internet sensation with his Somebody Scream pronouncements when the Tropics are in the opposing team's zone, and he follows that up with the Tropics are within striking distance. And fans around the MASL have heard plenty of that over the last 2 years, as the Tropics are the Eastern Conference defending champions and currently sit in second place in the 2021 MASL standings. So we will hear that tonight, I'm sure, many times on the public address system, and the Tropics hope they can convert more chances tonight than they did last night, and certainly than they did in Dallas a week ago, even though they were able to defeat the Sidekicks. Let's talk about some of the keys for tonight's game both ways. A couple of things really important. No question about that, but it becomes a very big factor tonight. Why? Well, Drew Ruggles, the MASL Defender of the Year, he's still on crutches. He is out, and the Tropics, quite frankly, don't know when he will be back in the lineup. After this weekend, Florida does not play again until March 10th out in Ontario, and whether or not he's even available by then is questionable. The hope is he will be, but if not, at least for the Tropics first ever appearance we expect in an MASL playoff game. But not only is Drew Ruggles missing, Lucas ×2 is on the bench as well. We knew Lucas Montoleros would not play tonight and probably won't play Sunday, and now Lucas Teixeira is out as well. He broke his wrist in that loss to Tacoma last night. So Lucas Montoleros, Lucas Teixeira, and Drew Ruggles, arguably three of the Tropics' top four defenders, and Ruggles almost without question one of the top defenders in the entire MASL, not in the lineup tonight for Florida. And the Tropics have another big loss as well offensively. Guilherme, who is their second leading goal scorer, is done for the weekend and maybe longer. He seriously re-injured a calf muscle that has been a little bothersome for him for kind of most of the season, but he had 7 goals going into what would have been last night's game in this weekend series, but he is also out of the lineup. So that is really why having some of the other guys that, not that they're struggling badly, but they haven't been as consistent offensively as Clay Roberts certainly would like and hope. Some of that has been injuries. Zach Reggett, for example, has only dressed for 4 games so far, but some of those guys on the second and third lines, if you will need to step forward. Maybe a rookie like Bruno Enrique, who has showed well in spurts here early in the season, can step forward as well. Take a look at the standings in the MASL, kind of up to date after this afternoon's game. Another so they go into the weekend at 3-4, but because of the fact that Tropics and Sockers both lost their games yesterday, that really does ratchet up the pressure here this weekend, because neither team wants to leave this arena Sunday having lost all 3 games. The Sockers and Tropics have an interesting rivalry. They've only played 4 times in their history, but all 4 games have been here in Lakeland, as will be the 5th. And when the Tropics come out west in March to take on the Ontario Fury and Tacoma Stars in that round-robin tournament in Ontario, they will not play the Sockers as part of that series. So Game 5 of 5 in their history against the Sockers will again be here at the Lakeland RP Funding Center. The last time these two clubs met, it was a big night for Victor Pereiras, as he had the 3-goal hat trick in an 8-5 win. That came on February 8th, a little more than a month before the MASL season got shut down due to COVID. We'll wait to see who gets the call in goal tonight for San Diego. We think it'll be former Baltimore Blast standout William Van Zela, who is on loan to the Sockers after Boris Pardo played yesterday. So we'll step aside for a moment, take a look at the Florida Tropics lineup as they get introduced here at the RP Funding Center. They are excited to get back out on the floor and try and erase the memories of a very difficult evening yesterday. That 7-6 loss to Tacoma is still smarting, and they will use that hopefully as motivation to get this socially distant and small but enthusiastic crowd on their feet tonight as part of the Sunshine Series in the MASL. Let's take a look at the lineup. About ready to rock and roll here at the RP Funding Center. The 7-2 Florida Tropics taking on the 1-2 San Diego Sockers. And as we said, both teams are desperate for a win, but disappointed in their performance when all was said and done yesterday. Tropics played 3 pretty decent quarters. They led 5-3 heading into intermission, or rather into the fourth quarter. But really got sloppy, some bad turnovers, and then really strange and unusual overtime goal, just 9 seconds in. Not really sure to this day and to this moment whether Mike Ramos actually touched the ball or not. He was in the neighborhood, but the Tropics having trouble getting communication going between Hugo Silva and a couple of defensemen, and all of a sudden it was in the back of the net as Coach Clay Roberts being honored for his 2019-2020 MASL Coach of the Year honors. Of course, a number of Tropics brought home hardware after the 2019-2020 season. Not the hardware ultimately that the Tropics wanted, because the final 3 games of their regular season and playoffs canceled due to the COVID outbreak, but a banner hanging nonetheless here in the RP Funding Center denoting their 2019-2020 Eastern Conference champions. 18-3 record, and certainly one of the 5 or 6 teams that very much had a legitimate chance at an MASL title last year. Of course, all were denied that opportunity, and the Tropics hoping they have some unfinished business here in 2021, but whoever does climb to the top of the league mountain in this abbreviated season will have earned the title. There's no question about that. There are 6 teams. There were basically 6 teams last year that you could make very good cases that had championship aspirations, and there are 6 teams this year that you can make very good cases equally have opportunities to win a championship. And so the math in terms of teams that really could win a championship is pretty much the same this year as it was in 2019-20, which is why in my eyes, whoever comes out of here with the Ron Newman Trophy in another month and a half or 2 months, it will be well-deserved and well-earned. Point taken that, teams like Baltimore and
Tropics fans, get on your feet. Let's make some noise. That's the people in San Diego can hear us. Let's get Tropics.
When they get healthy, can play with anyone in my book, and Kansas City, same story. So we'll see how things shake out here over the final month plus of the MASL regular season. Victor Ferreras has it at the middle circle. Luis on the intercept, gets to the top of the arc, shot. That one blasted just wide. Ruiz with the rebound taken down hard by Tavernese, and Joey going to be whistled for a foul. So San Diego immediately going to be given a very good restart opportunity, basically a top-of-the-arc restart here. And they will send out Liete to be the trigger man. Liete will lay it off to Craig Childs, shot and a goal. Boy, that was well struck. So just literally 24 seconds in, San Diego has a 1-0 lead. Unfortunate for Tavernese that he got a little crisp on the challenge from behind. And we'll take a look at that strike. Wasn't actually Childs, it was Geraldo Jurado who banged it off the far post. 97, not 37. Doesn't change the scoreline any, and the Sockers have an early advantage. Well, that's as many in 24 seconds as San Diego had in 60 minutes of play last night. Carvalho with it. Jurado, the goal scorer, challenging him. Now it's Sandoval. Over to Rafa Alves. Down low now to Zach Reggett. He had a goal last night on the power play. Back out to Alves, who can tee it up from distance with the best of them in this league. Rafa with it at the center line, a little far away even for Rafa there. Now down low, Reggett will go one-on-one. As Carvalho making a run with him, and Rico in front. Carvalho tries to get to the rebound, can't do it, and William Benzela making the start here for San Diego, on loan here this season with the Sockers from Baltimore. So Florida fans more than familiar with Benzela. Here's a chance again, shot in. A bouncer by Leonardo de Oliveira is covered up by Hugo Silva. Ball ahead to Ricardinho. One of the sets of fresh legs in here for the Tropics tonight. 3 or 4 new faces in there that did not play last night. Ricardinho one, Anthony Arico, a high-energy midfielder and also defender sometimes in there. Here's another, Bruno Enrique, who has played well as a rookie for the Tropics. So the homestanding Tropics trying to keep some fresh legs out there. Enrique will get it again down low. Didn't have much help in front that time. Now played into Nate Bordeaux, and Bordeaux is going to be whistled for a follow. Nate Bordeaux came in from Utica on loan last week, as did Jake Schindler, and his arrival couldn't have come at a better time with some of the defensive injuries that are piling up for Florida. And they both stepped in and looked like they had been here for all 5 years of the Tropics franchise. They just stepped off the plane, practiced 2 or 3 nights with the Tropics, and were very instrumental in their effort last night. Wasn't quite enough in the end overall, but both very impressive debuts for both Jake Schindler and Nate Bordeaux. Stephen DeRue. Ahead now to Tavernese. Tavernese with it, double teamed in the corner. Ruiz will knock it out of there. DeRue being watched by Ruiz now. Kind of a lazy ball back that Escoto almost intercepts. And a whistle and a foul. Cesar Cerda, the guilty party. Bennett. Tavernese will play it back to Sandoval now. Back to Joey. Skied Ian in the middle, but a little late Joey was in picking up Ian Bennett, who was open for just a moment. Ruiz will play it back to the defense, and now out to the midfield line where Tavernese tracks it down. It'll come all the way back to Victor Pereiras. Pereiras will slowly bring it forward. Couldn't split the difference there between a couple of San Diego defenders, and Christian Gutierrez is going to be called for, if this was hockey, I think he'd call that a hip check. Carvalho with it, gets it down to Reggett. Tried a little give and go off the boards. Here is Schindler, and he just fires it wide of the far post. He'll get back defensively now to Silva. Up to Jake. Signed in the offseason by the Rochester Lancers. Here's Reggett with it. Reggett trying to turn. Leaves it for Carvalho. Shot! He bangs it off the far post. Best chance the Tropics have had in the opening 4.5 minutes. Just missed by inches did Ricardo Carvalho. Here's Reggett. Give and go again with Carvalho. Reggett didn't make a run to the front of the net that time. Ricardo thought he would. Now here's Reggett again. Reggett, it's about where he scored his power play goal from last time. Gets it by Van Zela, but Tropics were on a change and nobody in front to take advantage of the carom off the boards there. Pressure now by Arico. Arico, turnover to Ricardinho. Ricardinho had Alves thinking about making a run, but Rafa pulled up. Vandegrift with it now. Gives it to Enrique. Over to Anthony Arico. He is also fresh into the lineup. Did not dress last night. Enrique gets it back to Vandegrift. Down to Ricardinho now. Ricardinho chased back out to the midfield area by Slavica Jubi Parapovic. Still our favorite name in the MASL. Here's Enrique. Enrique 1-on-2 in the corner. That math doesn't work. And finally Cardenas clears the zone. Now Alves tries one of his patented long distance shots, but didn't get much on it and was well off the mark to boot. Fast moving first quarter. Just over 9 minutes to go. Sockers with that early goal. Lead at 1-0. Silva will find it for Florida, who will come back now on the attack. Pressure by Gordy Gerson, former Florida Tropic forward. Had a bit of a star-crossed season with the Tropics last year. A lot of injury issues as Ian Bennett moves to the center of the field with some nifty footwork. Vandegrift can't control it. Here's a counter for San Diego, but Vandegrift comes back, going to be whistled for the contact. Took down Felipe Gonzalez right near the center circle. And Zilla coming well off his line. Something William will do time and again. Not quite Paulo Nascimento class, but William not afraid to try and come out and create some offense. Now here's the steal in the zone, and Silva will get it back out to midfield at least. Bordeaux tracks it down, but Tropics not able to retain possession as Carvalho gives chase. Here's an intercept to turn over to Bordeaux. Carvalho tried to head it across to Tavernese, but wasn't able to, and the zone is cleared. This should be a restart at the top of the arc here for the Tropics. So a good opportunity when we return. A media timeout. 7:45 to go here in the first quarter. It's the San Diego Sockers 1 and the Florida Tropics 0. Back in just a moment.
Gets the rebound, he takes a shot and scores. Frank Payu, Alves, long shot taken. That's an unbelievable boot.
Scotto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Waltman. A third one saved. A fourth. Waltman is stoning everybody.
Back here in Lakeland, Florida. Game 4 of the Sunshine Series, and the Tropics will look for an equalizer here with 7:45 to play in the first quarter. They'll send out Zach Reggett, Joey Tavernese, Ian Bennett, Victor Pereiras, and Ricardo Carvalho as their 5 to take this restart from the top of the arc. Ian Bennett always dangerous down low. He is to the right. William Vanzela as good as anybody in the MASL from sharp angles. Tavernese will run over the ball. Here's Pereiras, leaves it for Carvalho. Shot never got through. Good integrity on the wall there by San Diego as they were able to close down Carvalho's shooting lanes. Whistle away from the ball as Tavernese went to the deck. I think it was Guerrero Pino, the man who made contact. So again, a good restart chance. This one even closer. About halfway between the top of the arc and the penalty box. And Ricardo Carvalho going to make sure that the officials step off the full distance here. Got Pereiras to his left, has Bennett to his left deep. Reggett to the right. Goes down to Ian Bennett's shot, and he just misses that over the crossbar. That is a patented Ian Bennett play. And can see why he is so deadly from that angle. Here's Victor with it. Pereiras, the team's second leading scorer, leader on the team and in the MASL in assists this year. Reggett with it. He tries to fire, can't. Counter for San Diego and a goal. Nice little toe poke by Leonardo de Oliveira, and San Diego's lead is 2-0. Just a simple shot. Good run by de Oliveira. Picked it up almost at his own yellow line. Reggett tried to get back in there but couldn't do it, and San Diego's lead is 2-0. So Hirano with one, de Oliveira with one, and San Diego, 9 minutes into the game, has doubled their output from a 5-1 loss yesterday. Here's a chance in front. Oh, great save by Vanzela. Just absolutely robbed Anthony Arrico, who had a wide open net. Here's a chance on the other end for San Diego, goes wide. Boy, Arrico won't have a better chance at one there, and Vanzela just got a leg on it. Great recovery by William. We have seen him do that time and time again here in this building. Was a member of the Baltimore Blast, and he does it now as a member of the San Diego Sockers. And if the Tropics have an Achilles, it might very well be the fact they really only have Hugo Silva as a number one goalie, and trying to do 3 games in 4 days is not easy, even with 2 good goaltenders. But San Diego comes in with Boris Pardo and William Vanzela. Of course, Tacoma in with Danny Waltman and Chris Toth. But it's the Hugo Silva show, and only the Hugo Silva show basically for the Tropics. George Navarrete is the backup, and he has played in his entire MASL career 150 minutes. Would be very, very, very difficult and basically pretty unfair to George to throw him into games like this against the top teams in the MASL. Here's Tavernese in the corner, tried to get Ricardinho on a run in front, and again, well played by Vanzela. Cardenas with it at the midfield line. Well, we said San Diego needed to play with a lot more energy here this evening, and they have definitely checked that box. Been a very good start. Ricardinho going to chase down Vanzela, who sends it out to the midfield line. DeRue heads it over the boards and out of play. And actually, I think they're going to say it deflected off one of the San Diego players, so it'll be a kick in here for the Tropics.
Hey fans, Tropics merchandise is located on the concourse level behind section 232, where you can find jerseys, shirts, hoodies, tank tops, and more. Don't wait and get your Tropics swag today.
Escoto with it at the midfield line. Sends it back to Cardenas. Pressure up top by Pereiras, but San Diego able to break it here. Good opportunity. Zach Reggett, the only man back, and he's not a defender, but good play by Ian Bennett, who got back to disrupt that San Diego chance. Sandoval will bring it up. Now Pereiras with it. Not a good entry pass, and San Diego will come back. This is Pino. Guerrero Pena with a long shot. Silva able to make the save, and no one there for the rebound. Long ball down to Bruno Enrique, but a little too hot off the glass, and it goes right to William Vanzela. Marcio Leite, a veteran of many years in the MASL with it, number 77. 36 years old. Very dangerous defender offensively as well. Pereira's on the chase, so is Vandergrift, but getting through is De Oliveira, and Silva makes a good leg save. San Diego has had the better of the chances here overall. Now here's Ruiz. Had Gerson with him on the left side, tried to get it to De Oliveira, whistling a foul out near the yellow line, so San Diego will get a free kick there. Gerson he's gonna head off. Liete gonna do the honors here. Gerardo, who has that early goal to his left. Liete sending him down to the far post. Little back heel down to Gerardo, but comes in front, and Enrique able to get it back to Hugo Silva. Decided not to use his hands there and gets it out to Vandergrift. Now ahead to Arico, tried to bang it off the boards to Ricardo Carvalho, who was making a run alone down the middle of the field, but never came close to getting all the way out there. Schindler with the defensive play to get it back to his goalkeeper, Hugo Silva. Tropics chasing two here early. Arico with it. Now Rafa Alves. Arico taking a shift defensively here. As we said, he can play both midfield and defense. I think midfield is probably his preferred and ideal position, but with his energy and skills and knowledge, he makes a pretty good defender as well. And with all those defensive issues for the Tropics right now, they need him back there. Ricardinho with it. San Diego with a lot of high pressure. Ricardinho lets it go, tried to get it himself. Tavernese makes the takeaway. Joey will get it back out to the midfield circle to Anthony Arico now. Tavernese heads to the bench as Alves has it. Sandoval on. Bordeaux down to Alves. Thought Bordeaux would get there a little quicker than he did. Alves, though, on the intercept. Chips it down low to Bordeaux, but Vanzela able to grab that one easily and snuff any Florida threat out quickly. Alves will chest it back. Gerson on the run, and Silva fortunate there, and so is Alves. As Gordy Gerson being the spider on the top of the water that he always is, almost stole one there from the Tropics. Very fortunate to still be a 2-0 game. Gerson again with it down the right side. Bangs it off the glass. Got in a little deep for a very good shot attempt, but tried to hit De Oliveira on the far post off the glass. Bordeaux taken down by Gonzalez, so the Tropics will get a restart here with 17 seconds to go in what has been a good quarter, though, for the San Diego Sockers. They lead it 2-0, scoring less than a half minute into the game. Boy, when you have to start chasing that early, it can be tiring, especially with your second game in 2 nights. Of course, it's the same situation for San Diego. Pereiras goes down. Long ball into the area for Reggett. Too much of a hop off the Dashers to connect with Zach, and the horn will blow to end the first 15 minutes here in Lakeland. So a good start for the Sockers on this Friday night in Central Florida. We will be back with second quarter action in just a moment. It's the San Diego Sockers 2 and the Florida Tropics no score. Back in a moment.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Frank gets the rebound, he takes a shot and scores. Frank Payu, Alves, long shot taken, that's an unbelievable move.
Scotto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Walton. A third one saved. A fourth. Walton is stoning everybody.
Available interior work surface to work it out in front, plus the capability of available Pro Power on board to work it out in back. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Introducing the all-new 2021 Ford F-150.
Phil Salvaggio with some words of advice for his San Diego Sockers, and I'm sure in so many words it's, hey, just keep up the good work, do what we're doing. Bit of a homecoming for Phil. Actually was born in New York, but grew up here in Florida and actually attended Nova University down in Fort Lauderdale to get his degree. I believe it was, I have to double check, I think it was accounting. Yep, it was accounting. Long way from being the head coach of the San Diego Sockers, but he played for the Sockers actually for a couple of years, was a walk-on goaltender back in the early 90s. Became the head coach of the Sockers in 2008. Had all kinds of success in the PASL Pro League, but it's been a rather long time of no championships in San Diego, not something that they're used to. They have 14 league titles in their history, which dates back to 1978, but they have not hung a championship banner in quite some time. I think 2012, 2013 was their last championship. They Certainly one of the teams last year that could have contended. Bennett with a shot kicked out of there by Van Zela. Tropics look like they want to turn up the heat a little bit here to start the second. Jake Schindler with it. He'll clear the area for Hugo Silva to bring it up. Silva drives it down for Tavernese, but that's out of play. Intercept by Carvalho. Gets it to Arico with a shot off the boards. Tavernese trying to get the rebound in front. He and Van Zela came together. Now Alvis going to track it down. Alvis in the corner. Trying to find somebody in front. He's got Tavernese and Carvalho both in there. Tavernese with the header. But it goes out of play. Reggett with some pressure in the San Diego defensive end. Carvalho in there now. Now the Tropics do force a turnover. DeRue will get it at the yellow line. Gets it to Sandoval. Pereira will send it back out to DeRue, see if he can control possession. He does. Sandoval. Reggett zigged when Sandoval thought he was going to zag. Some pressure by Arico now. There's a turnover. Chance in front and an easy goal. Yoshio Sandoval as the Tropics turn up the heat, and they are back in it 2-1. Boy, it has been all Florida here in the first minute and a half, and they finally get it to pay off. Cut the deficit in half. Sandoval, his second in as many games. Not a guy that you think of as a goal scorer on this side, but you can see the pressure by first Arico, then Reggett comes to Carvalho, and he is showing good vision to get his 8th assist of the year to set up Sandoval, and I think Phil Salvaggio has called a timeout here, which is kind of interesting since his club is still leading, but you could see just right out of the get-go that the Sockers were back on their heels, and Salvaggio does not want this to turn into one of those moments of fury that you give up one, then all of a sudden two, then all of a sudden three are in the back of the net. San Diego well represented this year in the first ever MASL All-Star game that was held in December in Kansas City. Had 5 representatives headed by Craig Childs, Slavisa Ubi Parapovic, Cesar Cerda among the All-Stars. Pino was in there, and Brian Farber, disappointed just from a personal standpoint because I always love watching him play. He is one of the few Sockers that did not make the trip, injured this weekend. Sockers had some COVID issues in their loss to Dallas earlier this year, but pretty healthy now after not playing for several weeks after that opening weekend on the road in the Midwest. Schindler with it. Vandergrift drives it down. Van Zela comes well out to punch it away. Gerson 1-on-3 here, but that doesn't mean anything to Gordy. He believes he probably score 1 against 5. And the carpet gets Gerson this time, as does apparently Nate Bordeaux. So restart here for San Diego. Cardenas with it. Over to Felipe Gonzalez. Back to Cardenas. Enrique on the chase. And again a turnover. And a handball called there against Felipe Gonzalez. And are they going to call a blue card on that? I think they are. I don't make any pretense about the fact I'll root for the Tropics, but that's a That's a tough blue card right there. Just kind of took a little bit of a crazy bounce. The Tropics did make a turnover and might have had an advantage there, but won't matter as Gonzalez goes to the box for 2 minutes, and the Tropics will get a power play opportunity to see if they can tie things up.
It's a Tropics power play.
Tropics have not been great on the power play. You're surprised by that a little bit just because how much firepower they have. Just 33% coming in. Reggett with it down low, back on top to Carvalho. Down to Reggett now. Across the field to Victor Pereiras, now to Carvalho. To Pereiras. Carvalho. No penetration yet, now down to Reggett. Reggett to Pereiras at the yellow line. Pereiras thought about teeing it up, now gets it to Ian Bennett. Shot, save Van Zela. Bennett will corral his own rebound and has it taken away briefly. Tavernisi and Bennett going to battle in there, and Tropics will come out of there with it. Comes to Pereiras. Minute 11 left in the man advantage. Here's Carvalho down to Reggett. Reggett off the boards, tried to find it to Tavernisi, but never really took a bounce, and Van Zela was able to scoop it up. Long outlet for Christian Gutierrez. He's 1 against 3, and Pereiras going to be called for the push. .53 seconds to go in the man advantage for Florida. First penalty either way here this evening. San Diego pretty good on the penalty kill, 67%. Like to see it around 70, 75%. So soccer's pretty close to in that range where coaches like to see it. Pereiras with it. Slow to his yellow line. Now over to Carvalho. Shot, go! There's the Ricardo Carvalho we know and love. Great shot from about 40 feet out. And now a yellow card issued, I think, to Gonzalez after he had some words coming out of the box with one of the officials. Won't be a power play for the Tropics, but Gonzalez going to take a seat for a little longer and think about what he had to say. Here's that bomb again by Carvalho. Pereiras brought it slowly to the yellow line, and from about 40 feet, perfectly placed in the upper 40. So Carvalho gets his 4th of the season. And Pereiras continues to add to his league-leading assist total, and the Tropics are back even at 2-2. 2 goals here in the first 4 minutes of the second. Been as good a 4 minutes as the Tropics have played in a while. And has been their bugaboo this year. It's really been, I think, every team's bugaboo, the way the season is structured and the way the gaps come in the schedule and the staggered starts. Here's another turnover. Ricardinho with it to Enrique. Enrique 3-on-3 here. Enrique down the left side, off the boards in front. Going to be tracked down by Arico. He'll send it on goal. And I like the thought process here from the Tropics. They are just sending balls on goal and in the box every opportunity they get. They saw how much that can pay off against Tacoma, or how Tacoma made it pay off last night. Here's Enrique. Shot! That just misses short side. Rebound, Alves! Misses rebound! Goal! If at first you don't succeed, if at second you don't succeed, 3 times is a charm. Anthony Arico finally buries the rebound. And the Tropics are on fire here to start the second period. They now lead it 3-2. Enrique started it. He just missed off the near post, got a rebound, missed it off the far post by inches, and Anthony Arrico was there to finally finish. Van Zela well out of the play, trying to track down one or either of those shots by Bruno Enrique. Quickly into the Florida end of the field on the restart, and Bordeaux will send it back the other way. Rafa Alves will pick up the assist. So the Tropics, who found themselves down 2 early, come back with 3 in less than 5 minutes to start the second. Giroux takes it away. Now he'll just clear the area. Didn't have any great options to try and start a counter there. And Zella will drive it into the Florida end of the field. De Oliveira with it. Some pressure there by Bordeaux as they get it over to Ruiz. Ruiz being watched by Joey Tavernese. Oh, Bennett had looked down. He might have actually made a takeaway there. Here's a nice move by De Oliveira, but a block by Bordeaux. Now here's Gerson with an opportunity shot that never got through, blocked by Bordeaux. Another shot, that one blocked by Tavernese, and then finally Silva with a big save on Guerrero Pino. Guerrero let it fly from about 30 feet, and Silva had to leave his feet to knock it out of play. So San Diego with a spurt here, and welcome to the wild, wacky, wonderful world of indoor soccer, where momentum can change on a dime, and has here a couple of times now in the second quarter. Ruiz with it. This might end up being one of those kind of games tonight. Takeaway by Pereiras. Pereiras trying to come into the zone, knocked off the ball. Good defensive play there. Pereiras had a pretty good head of steam going. And it was Ruiz who finally slowed him down. Shot blocked by Ian Bennett. San Diego wants a line change here. Cesar Cerda with it. Touches it ahead now to Brendan Escoto. Escoto had 4 goals for San Diego in their win earlier in January. Takes a shot. He misses high and out of play. And we have a timeout on the floor. 7:51 to go in a wild one here in Lakeland. Second quarter, it's the Florida Tropics 3, San Diego Sockers 2. Back in just a moment.
Frank gets the rebound, he takes a shot and scores. Frank Payu, Alves, long shot taken, that's an unbelievable move.
Scotto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Waltman. A third one saved. A fourth. Waltman is stoning everybody.
Well, if you're a Florida Tropics fan, you might want to take a look at your screen at the moment. If you're a San Diego fan, you might want to turn away. This is maybe the most iconic moment in the history of this Florida franchise 5-year history, and it came against the San Diego Sockers in the Tropics' very first game all the way back November 11th. 2016 here at the RP Funding Center. The vaunted and world champion many times over San Diego Sockers against the unknown upstart Florida Tropics. San Diego had a 4-1 lead in the fourth quarter before the Tropics mounted a furious comeback, and the picture you're looking at is the game-winning goal celebration by Ricardo Diegues, and the Huge crowd here on opening night for the Tropics' first ever game. As you can see, it was pandemonium in the stands as Ricardo Diegues scored the game winner on basically a bicycle sidewinder, banana kind of kick. Just a spectacular goal in the final minute to lift the Tropics to a 6-5 win over San Diego. That's Z. Roberto on the turf with the captain's band on in somewhat disbelief of that incredible night here at the RP Funding Center, and it really still remains the most iconic goal in Florida Tropics history, and it came against the Sockers in their very, very first game. And our thanks to Charlie Baker, a friend of mine who still comes and shoots the Tropics games once in a while. He was the Florida Press Association Photographer of the Year when I worked with him here in Polk County. Great guy and even a better photographer. That was his photo. And thanks to Charlie, that has been a photo that is plastered all over the Tropics offices since that game. And you look at it and still get chills to this night. What a moment. Of course, Diegues no longer with the Tropics after setting all the Tropics scoring records here the first 3 years. Signed last year as a free agent with Utica, and his very good friend Victor Pereira, still with the Tropics, now has eclipsed all of Ricardo's scoring marks, both in goals and total points. But a moment that Diegues will never forget, and Tropics fans will never forget as well. Cardenas will take the restart at the center circle, being watched by Zach Reggett. Escoto in the Florida third now against Arico. Arico does a pretty good job, but going to be whistled for the foul. That's not a lot of contact there, but just enough. Anthony didn't think so. It's one of the big parts of his game that has gotten so much better in the last couple of years, much more disciplined player. He's aggressive, but has lost that recklessness that kind of was an earmark of his game early on in his Tropics history. Now Arico back the other way for Florida, fighting for the ball, taken down at the yellow line hard. And no blue card, but a foul called. And that's that Anthony Arico heart and hustle all the way there. Will set up this Tropics scoring opportunity. Alves leaves it to Ricardinho, takes the shot, misses far side. Reggett was not in deep enough for the redirect that time. And here's a counter for San Diego. Look out here, Ricardinho hustling to try and get back. And there's a shot, just goes over the top of the goal. Gerson almost had one for the Sockers there. And he would have loved that one to be able to celebrate in front of what used to be the home folk. Had an injured foot last year, pretty much right from the get-go, and never really was right with it all season. Still, I think had 8 goals and 11 assists, something like that for the Tropics in limited time. There's a ball all the way through to Vanzela, and Bruno Enrique was creating a little traffic there that made it slightly more interesting for a second than it had to be. Entertaining game here in Lakeland tonight. Expected that it would be. Both these teams really do not want to drop the first 2 games in this Sunshine Series and face the prospect of leaving this arena Sunday afternoon having dropped 3 in a row. They will both be in the playoffs, you can believe that, but these games will affect potentially who you will play, and that is a big factor, even though it may not have much to do in terms of home field. Is Bennett, who has been quiet here tonight, is double teamed. He tries to get away, knocked down a second time, but play on, says the official. Now here's San Diego on the counter. Daru sticks a leg in there, and Daru going to be whistled for the foul. And this is getting a little chippy and a little argumentative here on both sides. You can just feel the intensity. It's the biggest crowd we've had all year in Lakeland, and got the most intensity and emotion we've seen all year as well. Thought it would be a good one, and these two teams not disappointing here so far. Goal kick coming up for Hugo Silva. Trying to kind of redeem himself, I would say, from last night's performance, which I'm sure by his own admission was sub-Hugo-esque. But the Tropics wouldn't have it any other way than having Hugo in goal. Here's a counter chance. Here's Jurado with a shot and kick saved by Silva on the short side, and now Hugo reaches up and knocks that one away. Good aggressive play. And that was one thing that was missing in overtime. Hugo was not aggressive in coming out to get that relatively harmless-looking ball, and that's part of the reason it ended up in the back of the net. Now it's ahead to Pereiras. Just 9 seconds into overtime. I think that ties a Florida record for the quickest opponent's goal at the start of any quarter or overtime in their history, 9 seconds. In the corner, I believe that's Tavernese getting worked over, and finally a foul is called. That is Joey. Yeah, somebody scream indeed. The Tropics would like one here. Basically a corner kick restart. Carvalho, and that one never got through. Daru on the volley, deflected well wide. Couple of whacks at it. Carvalho tried to keep it in, but goes over the sideboards and out of play.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a friendly reminder, we ask that you please stay aware during the game of play.
There's the ball ahead to Mitchell Cardenas. Our Rico gets in the way. Now Carvalho has a chance to create a counter here. Daru, though, going to need to get off the floor, and Carvalho on the seat of his pants trying to keep possession. Now San Diego with a counter. UB Parapovic down to Gerson. Gerson has it deflected away, and Anthony Arrico does a nice job coming back. He has made his presence felt in a big way here tonight. Fresh legs, which is always nice. Silva comes out to punch it away. Gerson wanted a handball out of the box here, and now Daru going to be called for the push away against Brandon Escoto. Got his hands up into Brandon's face a little bit there. This has been pretty intense for both quarters, and I wouldn't anticipate anything different for the second half, so do not go away. Here comes Chad Vandergriff. Got Reggett with him, and also Nate Bordeaux. Gives it up to Nate. Bordeaux over the yellow line. Now he'll pull it back out to Ricardinho. Cross to Jake Schindler. Bordeaux will head to the bench. Ricardinho back to Big Jake. Native of Rochester, New York, signed with the Lancers in the offseason. The Lancers, of course, not playing for very good reason. Their home arena being used as a COVID vaccination site in upstate New York. But they will be back bigger and better than ever, especially with a guy like Jake Schindler on their roster. Really a tremendous culture builder beyond just the soccer talent. Exactly the kind of player that Soccer Sam Fantuzzo and head coach Doug Miller want to bring in and build that Lancers roster up. They were really playing some very good soccer towards the end of the 2019-20 season, in part because of 51-year-old Doug Miller, player coach, towards the end of the season. It's great to see him on the floor again, and I always joke with Clay Roberts about suiting up, and if there's any more defensive injuries to the Tropics lineup, he might have to think about it. Very good defender in his day with the Philadelphia Kicks, among others, winning a championship there in Philadelphia. Long ball to Pereiras. Now Enrique tries to sneak in there, keeps it alive. Schindler will play it back to Sandoval and then head to the bench on a line change. 2:35 to go. First half, 3-2 Tropics. Been all Tropics here in the second. They trailed 2-0 coming in to this quarter. Vandergriff will lay it across field to Arrico now. Tropics will slow things down and build a little forward here to Enrique. Bruno. Back to Silva, who comes almost to the half line. Vandergriff, who's been really, really good defensively for the Tropics, can jump up and join that offensive fray once in a while as well. Not at a Drew Ruggles level, but every bit the defender Drew Ruggles is. He's been very impressive in his performance here with the Tropics. He's been battling through a little bit of a leg issue now and again this season as well. This is De Oliveira with it. Chance shot, good save, Silva. There's a rebound try by Cerda, who took the initial shot. And again, Silva comes up big. This time, I think it was Gutierrez he denied. So Hugo Silva with his best stretch here in the second quarter, a couple of big saves. Vandergriff steps up, able to take it away momentarily, and he had Bennett but couldn't get to it. Now San Diego back on the attack. Good block by Elvis. Chance in front, too much traffic for San Diego to get through. Silva dives out of there, and now Bennett has it. Bennett will chip it ahead to Bruno Enrique, who's towards the end of a shift here. Enrique with it. Had Bordeaux in front briefly, but couldn't find him, and Bruno going to head to the bench now. And that is smart as Daru is knocked off his pegs. Bordeaux on the intercept. Tavernese plays it back to Vandergriff. Ahead now to Carvalho. See if Ricardo can get his fire lit with that pretty goal he had earlier in the quarter. Tavernese will track it down. Daru going to try and keep it in play, but can here in the final 30 seconds of the half. 3-2 Tropics. Looking to start a new win streak at the RP Funding Center. They had won 12 in a row here at home until the upset loss. I call it an upset loss. Tacoma's very good and deserved to win it. The Tropics really gave it away, but give Tacoma a lot of credit for battling back in the fourth quarter and winning it in overtime, but that was a disappointing way to lose it. And we are going to go to intermission with the Tropics on top by that score of 3-2. So 2 goals by San Diego in the first 15 minutes, 3 goals by the Tropics in the next 15 minutes, and that will bring us to intermission. Here, game 4 of 6 this weekend in Lakeland, the Sunshine Series, and the Florida Tropics have a slim 1-0 lead. We'll be back in a little bit with the third quarter, but as we go to intermission, it's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers 2, back in just a little bit. I think they both have left the arena, so. So I'd say maybe do like maybe 3-4 minutes here and then come. I'll do 3 or 4 minutes. We'll go away for 3 or 4 and then come back. By that time we should. Sorry, swallowed some water wrong there.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's halftime festivities is going to be Lakeland Tropics.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry-out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin, I like your PJs. PJs. What?
Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Special delivery.
At Domino's, you can now stream thousands of movies for free with any online order, no matter what you order. So you could have stuffed cheesy bread with extra cheesy rom-coms.
It's you.
It's you. It's me.
Or saddle up on the couch for specialty pizza and a Western. Get 30-day access to stream thousands of movies for free on Epix Now with any online order from Domino's.
Whatever you want to do out there, we've got the truck to get it done. Introducing the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Tequila. Treat yourself to the fino things in life. Califino Tequila. Disfruta lo fino de la vida. Usa el código Sockers30 para su descuento del 30% en su pedido. Compra ahora en califinotequila.com.
I was 4 years old when I first started playing. My mom was the one who played growing up and just always wanted me to try it out.
I started out playing when I could probably walk. My dad played in college, and my whole family was just a soccer family.
I had a good friend of mine. Her dad was coaching a team, and just loved playing, and had a boys team at first, and it just, the love for the game just kept growing from there. If you would have asked me when I was younger, it would have been a Mia Hamm or a Steven Gerrard from Liverpool, and they still are like awesome, you know, amazing. But now I think my parents. I loved watching clips on Ronaldinho, Messi. Mia Hamm was the go-to.
I love the environment of a team. I love the aspect of having each other's backs. It's an addictive kind of feeling that I'll have forever.
I've come to love the tactics of it. I think it's really a beautiful game. It's almost like a dance, you know, it's very much like a dance. And I thought now it's just very beautiful. Like, it really is a beautiful game.
It's incredible, that feeling of like winning as a team and being successful as a team. It's not just individually. You can have a great game, but to bring others up and to do that for your other teammates and for them to do that for you, it's a feeling you really don't get in any other part of life.
Not only are we getting opportunity to change football for women here in Denmark, but we're also gaining so much life experiences.
Knowing that I am able to do this, I've always loved soccer and everything, and I think just proving to myself and proving to my family and just doing what I love is just the main thing, and I don't want to ever stop.
Coming to Denmark and having such a positive experience with such a up-and-coming team, it's inspirational.
I always wanted to play abroad.
Well, really a tale of two quarters here in Lakeland tonight as we get ready for third quarter action in just a couple of minutes. It's the Florida Tropics 3 and the San Diego Sockers 2. The Sockers came out on fire early on. In fact, got a goal less than 30 seconds into the game by Gerardo Jurado, and that set the tone for pretty much the rest of the first 15 minutes. De Oliveira got San Diego's second goal of the quarter, and that's how it ended. The Tropics, not a terrible quarter by any stretch, but not one of their best ever, but boy, did they turn on the afterburners coming out of the huddle between quarters and scored 3 times within the first 5 minutes of the start of the second quarter, started by Yoshio Sandoval's second in 2 nights, and then Ricardo Carvalho coming to life with a beautiful shot from about 40 feet away that he tucked right inside the post and underneath the crossbar. That tied it, and then Anthony Arrico gets the go-ahead goal on some good work by Bruno Enrique as he had a couple of opportunities, got William Vanzela out of position, and Enrico able to finish in the open net. And that's where we stand. Really a very entertaining half of soccer, high energy from both teams. We kind of expected that. It was a very meh effort from San Diego last night, and we knew that would not stand with Phil Salvaggio in the group. And, of course, Clay Roberts and his side very, very disappointed by their effort, especially late in that overtime loss to Tacoma. So both teams really well-focused and pretty on their game here this evening, which has meant a very entertaining half of soccer. And if you thought the first 30 minutes was entertaining, I think we might be in for a real barn burner in quarters 3 and 4, and who knows, maybe overtime yet again tonight. We'll see. But right now it's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers 2. We will step aside as we get ready for second half action in just a little bit. This is the MASL on Facebook. Back in a moment.
Frank gets the rebound, he takes a shot and scores. Frank Payu, Alves, long shot taken, that's an unbelievable move.
Scotto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Waltman, a third one, save, a fourth. Waltman is stoning everybody.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Califino Tequila. Disfruta lo fino de la vida. Usa el código Sockers30 para su descuento del 30% en su pedido. Compra ahora en califinotequila.com.
Back here as the teams come onto the floor to get ready for the third quarter, we'll take a look at some of those goals we were talking about in the opening half. Here's that goal in the first minute by Gerardo. Perfectly placed shot on the restart, and Gerardo made no mistake. It became 2-0. Really nice run by De Oliveira, pretty much the length of the floor, and the right-handed toe poke past Hugo Silva. And San Diego was really out of the gates at 2-0. But then the Tropics just turned on the Jets. High pressure, Anthony Arrico, then Zach Reggett. It finally comes free to Ricardo Carvalho, who assists on the goal by Yoshio Sandoval. And that really ignited the Tropics. It was 2-1 at that point. Victor Pereiras then sets up Ricardo Carvalho. Talk about great shots. That was perfectly placed by Ricardo, the team's leading scorer last year. And then Bruno Enrique did a lot of the work, got one shot away, got his, well, actually it was Alvis on the rebound try, and then on the third crack at it, Anthony Enrico was able to knock it into the empty net after Vanzela was taken out of the play on that follow-up rebound first attempt by Rafa Alvis. So good work by the Tropics there, and we kind of talked about that as a key early on, that Florida was going to have to rely tonight on more than just Ian Bennett and Victor Pereiras, and that's kind of one of the good things that we saw in that first half on the stat sheet. Pereiras did have an assist, but that was the only point between those two in the first 30 minutes. Now they're going to need to contribute certainly here in the third and fourth quarters, but good to see others on the score sheet for the Tropics, especially Ricardo Carvalho. So Gerardo got the goal at 25 seconds in the first quarter. The De Oliveira score came at 8:09 of the first. That's how we ended the first quarter, and then the 3 goals within a span of just a little over 4 minutes in that second period. The run starting by Sandoval at 1:37, then Carvalho at 3:47, and just 61 seconds after that, Anthony Enrico. So that's where we stand, 3-2. The Tropics with the lead. The Sockers out shooting Florida. Shots on goal officially in that first 30 minutes, San Diego 10 and Florida 6. One other game tonight in the Major Arena Soccer League. That out at Cable Dahmer Arena in Kansas City, an 8 o'clock Central start, so they are probably just about kicking things off there. First of 2 this weekend in Missouri. The Sidekicks will provide the opposition again Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock Central Time. Of course, that's the same day we will wrap things up here in Lakeland with this 6 games in 4 days. The Sockers and Stars will do the honors at 12 noon, and then kind of a game I'm really looking forward to now, as impressive as Ontario has been in the opening 2 games of this weekend series. It'll be the Fury and the Tropics kicking it off at 4 o'clock Sunday to wrap up the weekend. Ontario undefeated still now at 4-0 after a 9-5 win. Very convincing triumph over the Tacoma Stars earlier today. So they continue to impress. Here comes Tavernese back, tried to get it in front, but Pereira's just a little late getting there. Victor will keep possession, however. Van de Griff gets it to Pereiras. That's Schindler with it. Back to Chad now. Vandergriff not a player on loan. Ian Bennett is from Milwaukee. Vandergriff was signed as a free agent. Tavernese, he tries to keep it alive in front. Vandergriff comes and sticks a leg in there. Look out here. Good play by Schindler to stop what would have been a very big breakout by San Diego with a lot of numbers. As the Tropics come out aggressively here offensively to start the third. Very similar to what we saw at the start of the second quarter. They will change less than a minute in now. Alves gets it over to Sandoval. Down to Reggett. Reggett leaves it for Sandoval. Yoshio and Reggett trying to play a little give and go. Can't get it to work. Arico pushed down, and there's a whistle and a foul. No question about that, even though Cesar Cerda says, hey, I didn't do anything. But sure looked like it. As Arico, I don't think, went to the turf on his own. Not to say that soccer players don't do that once in a while, or more than once in a while. But I think there was legitimate contact there. Carvalho will do the honors here. Off to Alves with a shot, and he bangs that one just above the crossbar high and out of play. Talked there in that first half about how Rafa Alves has a big shot from distance, and he did not miss by a whole lot right there. William Van Zela getting the start in goal tonight here for San Diego after Boris Pardo took the loss yesterday against Ontario. Ball knocked back into the San Diego third. Carvalho taken down. Reggett will collect it here off the boards. Reggett still playing with that wrist support. He had a broken hand a few weeks ago, had a cast on in Dallas last weekend, has the cast off but still has a support on, but one player gets his cast off and Lucas Teixeira has his on. Broke his wrist if you just joined us in last night's game, so he is out. Guilherme is out with a re-injured calf, and he may be gone for a while. And Drew Ruggles, of course, still very much out with a high ankle sprain, still on crutches yesterday at least. They didn't see Drew today, but no, he was in the boot and crutches last night, and Drew going to be whistled for the foul and the delay of game warning issued there. So the Tropics really shorthanded defensively. No Drew Ruggles, no Lucas Teixeira, and no Lucas Monaleras. Two of the four original Tropics still on this team's roster, and both have grown into very fine defenders in this league over the last couple of seasons for sure. DeRue almost with a giveaway there. Got a little high into the face of Brandon Escoto. Now they go down again. Look out here between Escoto and DeRue. They had a collision at the yellow line, then both took off towards the midfield circle, and Escoto and DeRue collided a second time. No further extracurricular there, which is good as DeRue heads to the bench. Escoto will stay on here for the Sockers. Silva ahead to Bruno Henrique. Henrique being marked closely there by Guerrero Pino. Bordeaux with it. Play on, says the official, with Vandergriff taken down there. Down to Tavernese off the board. Tried to get it in front to Henrique, but Van Zela a little too smart for that one. Just did get a hand there. So he needed just a little more mustard on that one to get it to Bruno. Now down low again to Henrique. Henrique good with his back to the goal. One of the things that Clay Roberts really likes. Creative with the ball. Now off the boards. He had Bennett making a run to the far post. Still loose in there. Van Zela punches away. Vandergriff with a chance. And Van Zela makes a good save there. Vandergriff steps up again. Knocked out of play, and this will be a restart at the top of the arc. Tropics have done a much better job keeping their composure tonight. That has been noticeable, and it was a definite point of pregame emphasis for Coach Clay Roberts. It's somebody scream night here in RP funding land, and they're doing it right now on this restart at the top of the arc, and the Tropics want to talk it over. Carvalho actually calling the timeout. Looked like he was going to pull the trigger and then decided let's give Clay Roberts an opportunity to talk things over. Clay, of course, in his 5th season now at the helm, only coach the Tropics have ever had in their history. Very successful local NAIA soccer coach as well with the Southeastern University Fire. And as we mentioned, a former player with the Philadelphia Kicks in the Major Indoor Soccer League. Frustrating loss last night, but good performance overall, really, so far on this Friday in Lakeland. Tropics looking for their 8th win of the season. That would be most in the MASL. They have played the 2nd most games. St. Louis has actually played 10 so far, and they, I believe, are, if the schedule plays out as it is on paper right now, will end up with the most games played this year with 15. 3rd most is Kansas City with 7 games. They'll add 2 this weekend. And then the Dallas Sidekicks with 6. Those were the 4 teams that originally started play back in early January. Florida, Kansas City, St. Louis, and Dallas. San Diego, Tacoma, and Ontario coming on a little bit later. And the rest of the MASL circuit sitting it out because of the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions in place in their markets. As we said, in Rochester, they're using their arena to dole out the COVID vaccine. That's pretty good reason not to be playing this year. So Carvalho out there with Pereiras, Reggett, down low to Bennett, tries to take that patented corner shot, and it is deflected out of play by Guerrero Pino. So all that timeout and nothing real fancy, just the basic ball down low to Ian Bennett, but he's not able to connect, just a hair late on the shot. Victor Pereiras will pull the trigger here on this corner. Gets it out to Reggett, and he sends it 3/4 of the way to Oldsmar. So it'll be a goal kick for William Vanzela. Great to have you along on Facebook Live this evening. The featured match brought to you by Flight, the official soccer ball of the MASL. Here's a chance now for Pereiras in low off the glass, and Vanzela, the veteran that he is able to come out and play it nicely. As unfortunate as it is to see all these teams sit out the 2021 season, it's nice to see a lot of their best players on loan and still being able to compete. And really, this the games, all the regular season games have been really, really high level this year. That's one of the upsides of this condensed format and condensed teams situation, that basically every team here this weekend is an all-star team. And as we said, do not go to sleep on Kansas City or St. Louis as a playoff contender as well. Here's Gerardo. Gerardo can't get it back to his teammate. Through ball from Tavernese to Arico never happened, but Felipe Gonzalez going to be called for the foul, and that's why it never got through. Arico with it. No scoring so far here in the second half. Anthony Arico plays it back to Hugo Silva. Hugo ahead to Zach Reggett. Reggett trying to create an opportunity. Reggett never has much space to get that big shot off. Sometimes he really has to work hard to create it. Has that target forward with his back to the ball. Nice defensive play there by De Oliveira as he heads it back to Vanzela with Nate Bordeaux lurking in the area. Alvis off his chest. It will roll along the top of the boards and stay in play. Now Bordeaux spins and turns. Bordeaux coming back. He loses it. San Diego on the counter here now. This is Liete. He's stopped at the yellow line, at least briefly. Gets it back. Foul called, I think, against Alvis. Delay a game warning against Florida here. Leite will put the ball in play here. Vanzela actually owns a shutout against the Tropics. I believe it's the only time the Tropics have ever been shut out. It was a 7-0 win for Baltimore. Almost a bad giveaway there by Silva. Still is controlled briefly by the Sockers. Tropics have had 2 shutouts in the last 2 years, first 2 in their franchise history. Silva getting his first back in January against Dallas. Ironically, it was Dallas that was shut out in Dallas last year. It was not Silva in goal, though, for the Tropics. It was Brett Petracek, who is now with the St. Louis Ambush. Silva will take a look downfield, gets it ahead to Steven DeRue. Now to Enrique. Enrique at the yellow line. Being watched closely by a soccer defender there. Gotta confess, I do not have a number 17 on my roster. I'll take a look. In front, and Vanzela again able to come out and read that play. So good at it. 17 is Ray Reza. Sorry about that, Raymondo. Didn't have you on my version of the roster. Of course, he's a veteran with San Diego, 9 seasons now. As Cerda comes back, fires wide on the short side, tries to get his own rebound. And Zela will drive it back to the midfield line when Enrique is waiting there. Has Bennett down deep, but couldn't really get the ball to Ian quickly enough. Ian Bennett's been quiet tonight. That's bound to change, you would have to think. The 1.25 to play. He's got it now. Gets it ahead to Jake Schindler. Schindler had a big goal last night, a really nice debut for the Tropics. Down to Enrique now. Out to Bennett at the yellow line. Bennett, long shot, slapped away by Vanzela. Arico with the rebound. Schindler decided he didn't have enough room to operate, so he will bring it back out to midfield, and he wanted a line change anyway. Careful here. Silva had to make a save as Gerson deflected that one, and then another bad giveaway by Hugo. Here's a 3-on-1 for San Diego and a goal. And Hugo's got no one to blame but himself for that one. So the Sockers tie it up on a bad giveaway by Hugo Silva. We'll take a look at the replay, but Silva just not a very good ball at all. Just put it right at the foot of De Oliveira. And Cerda able to convert the mishap. So San Diego back on top 3, or rather tied now at 3-3. Breaking the action here. We'll be back with the conclusion of the third quarter in just a moment. It's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers. It's the MASL on Facebook. Back in a moment.
Frank gets the rebound, he takes a shot and scores. Frank Payu, Alves, long shot taken. That's an unbelievable move.
Otto moves in, and it's in the back of the net. San Diego.
Save, Waltman. A third one saved. A fourth. Waltman is stoning everybody.
Galifino Tequila. Disfruta lo fino de la vida. Usa el código Sockers 30 para su descuento del 30% en su pedido. Compra ahora en califinotequila.com.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs? What? Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Special delivery.
At Domino's, you can now stream thousands of movies for free with any online order, no matter what you order. So you could have stuffed cheesy bread with extra cheesy rom-coms.
It's you.
It's you. It's me.
Or saddle up on the couch for specialty pizza and a Western. Get 30-day access to stream thousands of movies for free on Epix Now with any online order from Domino's.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community.
So Cesar Cerda gets the equalizer here at the 8:19 mark of the third period. And we are tied at 3. Long ball into the San Diego end of the field. Alvis tried the header there, but just missed. De Oliveira with the assist, so he has a 2-point night. Got San Diego's second goal of the game. Ricardo Carvalho, a 2-point night for the Tropics so far. Stephen DeRue will put it in play. Back to Hugo, who would like that last one back for sure. There's a push down by Pino. Reggett with it. Carvalho along the far boards has it taken away by Ruiz. Ricardinho back to DeRue now. Reggett gives it up to DeRue. High pressure by Z. Roberto there. Pereiras and Ricardinho come together but can't make the takeaway. Now back to Venzela. Long ball down to Brandon Escoto. He's been quiet and dangerous. Escoto moves to the top of the arc. DeRue comes in there as well. Now Reggett flies in to break it up. Still loose, and San Diego will come out of there with possession finally. Liete with it. Gets around DeRue. Liete, he's dangerous. Escoto, little give and go with Liete in front. Nice defensive recovery that time by Zach Reggett to break up that opportunity. Tropics on a line change here. Got to be a little careful. Escoto will head to the bench now for the Sockers. Ubi Parapovic on. Being challenged for a moment there by Anthony Arrico. Venzela will look downfield, headed by Schindler ahead to Bennett, and Bennett is going to be whistled for the foul. Tropics looking to improve here tonight to 8-2. San Diego looking to even their season mark at 2-2. Of course, the Sockers playing all their regular season games on the road this spring. I think 10 in all, which is the minimum in the MASL this year for the playoff consideration because of the COVID restrictions out in Southern California. But hats off to all the team owners and players and management and league staff that has worked so hard to make this season as successful as it has been. I know there's been a lot of negative comments and snarky comments out there in social media land, and kind of just shake my head at all that. The fact that we're playing at all is to be commended, and a lot of sacrifice in terms of money and time and everything else just to keep this great sport alive, and everyone involved in doing it this year deserves our utmost thanks and congratulations. They are putting on a good product, a good show, and we're glad you're tuned in tonight to enjoy it. So I'll step down off the soapbox and back to soccer. Silva drives it out for Enrique, trying to track it down there, battling with Pino. Guerrero will get there first. Enrique still with some pressure. Now taken away by Enrique. He's taken down. And so the Tropics will get a restart. Nice work by Bruno Enrique. Showed first a lot of patience and then commitment to make the takeaway. Joey Tavernese runs onto the floor here to park himself far post. Down low off the boards, in front, nobody there. Arico takes a swing at it. Vandegrift out there on an offensive position, which is a little unusual at the moment. Now ahead by Bennett to Tavernese. Joey looking for some help, leaves it for Alves. Back to Tavernese. In the corner, that's Vandegrift taken in hard, but he'll play it back to Anthony Arico, who will keep the possession alive here for the Tropics, all the way back to Hugo Silva. Chips it into the San Diego end, and William Vanzela not going to get there in time as it's cleared away. Arico comes up with it. Tried to get it through to Tavernese, but couldn't do it. Ian Bennett will track it down in his own half of the field here. Just one goal so far here in the third quarter. It belongs to San Diego. And that's why we are at a 3-3 tie at the moment. Carvalho. Alves and now Vandegrift. Bordeaux trying to make a run on Cerda. Can't really get much of an angle. Tropics trying to make a takeaway in the San Diego end. Vandegrift does. Puts it off the boards, but it rolls harmlessly to William Vanzela. Flick to the midfield line where Gutierrez has it taken away by Daru. Pereira's tried to find Carvalho in the offensive third, was intercepted. San Diego going to come back. This is De Oliveira in the deep right corner. 1-on-2 against Enrique and Daru, and Tropics will win that battle. Silva, nice ball ahead to Ricardinho. Ricardinho, though, cut off for the moment by Ruiz. Now Ricardinho again tries to get by Ruiz and can't really do it. Enrique fronted by Pino. Now Vanzela comes out. Look out here as Ricardinho got in there and almost had a whack at an open net. Vanzela, though, will look for De Oliveira, but too far, and San Diego wants a change. Comes Schindler. Jake Schindler looking for Arico. Anthony can't get there, driven back into the Florida end of the field. Silva able to recover. Looking for Enrique deep, but too tall for Bruno. Final 20 seconds here. Bennett trying to create an opportunity. 3-on-2 here for the Tropics. Bennett going to try, though, from about 80 feet. Don't know if he realized he had the kind of help with him that he did. And Banzela's shaken up a little bit. Looks like maybe hurt his hand on that shot. Well, the good news is Boris Pardo would be on the bench and available if Banzela did something to that arm or wrist. Saw Lucas Teixeira break a wrist in last night's game. Actually played with a broken wrist for some of the second half and finally had it looked at after the game and has it in a cast here this afternoon and not in the lineup, of course. One of three key Florida defenders not in the lineup, with Drew Ruggles and Lucas Monoliris being the other two. There was an outside thought that Lucas Monoliris might get a chance to dress on Sunday. We'll see if that plays out, but we know Drew Ruggles will not for sure, and I think we can probably pretty safely assume that Lucas Teixeira will not dress as either. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Chance maybe for a long ball and something crazy in the Florida end of the field. You don't know. There's the header. Ruiz will track it down. Still loose in there, and back to Silva finally, and that will let the clock run out on the third quarter. Well, maybe not quite as crazy a quarter as we expected, but I think that might change over the final 15 minutes. The more to come sign is up. At least 15 minutes more of soccer to go here in Lakeland tonight. Maybe more, we'll find out. It's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers 3. Back for the finale in just a moment.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Whatever you want to do out there, we've got the truck to get it done. Introducing the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Well, welcome to the MASL's version of a mini game. 15 minutes to decide it. Tied at 3. Of course, in the past years in playoffs, when each team has been allowed to host a home game, if the two teams are split in those games after the second game, the two sides play a 15-minute mini game to decide it, and that's kind of where we're at here tonight between the Sockers and the Tropics. Tied at 3. Out of town, we mentioned Kansas City hosting Dallas this evening, and the Comets off to a good start, leading at 3-1. Could be a dangerous team before all is said and done here in 2021. Find it a little hard to believe, but Kansas City credited with 18 shots on goal in the first quarter in that game. They've got a good lineup. Didn't know it was quite that good, but that's a lot of shots. Tropics with possession here to start the fourth. Cesar Cerda with the only goal of the third came at the 8:19 mark on an assist by Leonardo de Oliveira. There's only been 2 blue cards in this game, both against San Diego. Both came in the second quarter. Carvalho's goal came on the power play. That was the one that tied it at 2. Restart for Florida here, right in front of their own bench. Tavernese with his back to goal. Now Anthony Arrico with a shot off the boards in front. Arrico gets his own rebound. Tavernese trying to turn, find some space, can't do it. But he will play it all the way back out to Hugo Silva as Tavernese needed a blow. Giroux with it. Now to Silva. Drives it in the San Diego end towards Zach Reggett. Reggett lays it off. In front now. Here's a chance and a redirect. Just not enough on it to get it across the line. Good work by Zach Reggett and the rest of the offensive front there to create that opportunity. Anthony Arrico with it. Arrico takes a long shot. Easy stop there by Venzela. Don't tell Anthony, but I might have been able to actually stop that one. Might have hurt. Might not have been pretty, but I think I could have saved it. Now San Diego on the counter. Not for long as Ricardinho gets it to Reggett now. He's got Bordeaux with him ahead of the field. Reggett gets it, tries to get it on the cross. Rebound chance by Ricardinho goes well wide. Now De Oliveira sends it ahead to Gordy Gerson. Silva going to come way out. Makes a nice play to take it away from Gordy, but San Diego will keep possession at least briefly. Bordeaux stuck a leg in there, couldn't get it, and Pino will play it all the way back to Vanzela. Foul will go against the Tropics here. Time to see who will play hero on either side, whether it'll be the goaltender, whether it'll be someone unsuspecting, or maybe one of the superstars. This is bread and butter time for both the Sockers and the Tropics. Neither want to start this weekend off 0-2. That can assure you of that. But one of them will walk out in just that predicament before all is said and done tonight. Pereiras gets it to Bennett. As we said, Bennett and Victor both have been pretty quiet here for the Tropics. Maybe the stars will be stars here in the fourth quarter for Florida. They have been tremendous all season long. Alvis with it. Pereiras does have an assist tonight. Silva gets it down to Enrique. Bruno with it. Pereiras trails off the dashers, but again, not a very good angle and not enough to get it to Ian Bennett in front. Long ball in the air to Vanzela. Nice header by Alvis to Bennett. Here's Ian Bennett trying to tee it up. Couldn't get the shot away in time, just couldn't control it. Really heads up play, literally and figuratively, by Rafa Alvis there. He headed it about 60, 70 feet down the field to set up a potential opportunity there for Ian. Been a little bit of a frustrating night for the Florida Milwaukee Wave superstar. His rights will revert back to the Wave, who will be back in, I'm sure, bigger and better than ever in 2021-22. Crowd trying to really get the Tropics rolling here in the fourth. Thought we might see a few more fireworks here. Been more of a close to the vest, rather tactical second half, as neither team wants to make that really big mistake. Tropics made one in the third, and San Diego made them pay. Giroux trying to create some pressure at the San Diego line, can't do it. Now here's a breakout opportunity for Jurado. Jurado shot, Silva with a big save. Maybe his best of the night. certainly is most important. Comes with just over 10 minutes to go. Jurado able to sneak in behind the Tropics defense. Restart, though, for San Diego at the top of the arc here. Always a dangerous moment. Liete will look for some opportunity. There's a shot. Silva makes a great save on Brandon Escoto, who can't believe it. Brandon just looks to the sky and says, boy, how did that not get in? That looked like it was 3/4 of the way into the net before Silva knocked it away. It was like a three-point shot in basketball that's halfway down and comes back out. And Silva said he just made his most important save a minute ago. Check that. There is his most important save now. They're all big here on out. Liete with it. Liete takes a shot. That one goes well wide. Nice little header by Ricardo Carvalho back to his goal keep. Now Vandegrift with it. Vandegrift gets it down to Reggett. Reggett and one of the San Diego defenders tussling, and Zach going to be called for a little too much bump and grind there. I think it was Jurado who he was tangling with. 9:45 to play. Still a lot of time, but starting to get the feeling that the next goal here could be awfully, awfully big. Here's Ricardinho. Ruiz keeps it alive for San Diego out at the midfield line. Ricardinho with some pressure. Now intercepted by Vandegrift. Gets it ahead to Bordeaux. Bordeaux with a sneaky little shot through the legs of Liete, but Van Zela makes that save easily. De Oliveira being watched over there by Vandegrift. Vandegrift keeps it alive, and De Oliveira going to be whistled for the foul. Quick restart for the Tropics. Sobrero with it. Ricardinho at the yellow line. One-on-one. Goes to his left, off the boards in front. Reggett crashes in there off the boards, and Bordeaux just couldn't get there in time. Chase for the ball, and good hustle by Chad Vandegrift to beat De Oliveira to the line. Leonardo he was at the end of his shift and didn't have the gas in the tank left. Here's Reggett, turns, fires in front. Nobody there. Alvis with a header right back to Reggett. Alvis keeps it alive. Alvis having a good second half here for the Tropics for sure. He tries to step in, and we have tumbling bodies all over the place, and a whistle goes, and I think it's Reggett again going to be called for the foul. Always want to be a little bit careful. We had one of those rare 4 fouls and a half blue card in one of the games yesterday. This has not been nearly as physical as the Ontario-San Diego game was yesterday. Reggett going to be called, and this one is going to be a blue card against Zach. I think he caught San Diego player up high, and now some extracurricular. And a yellow card has been shown as well. So San Diego will get the advantage here and go on the power play for the first time all evening, and that is an opportune time for that to happen. I don't know if it was Ruiz he tangled with. I think it might have been. Cerda was there as well. Liete out there now. Some of the Tropics fans not real happy with the blue card. And I think the yellow was for Zach as well, as far as I know. So one of the other Tropics players will have to come in and actually serve the 2-minute penalty. It'll be Joey Tavernese to serve that penalty time, and it'll be Tavernese released at the end of 2 minutes if San Diego doesn't get the go-ahead goal here, because Zach will be in the penalty box for a little bit longer than those 2 minutes. Orico, Yoshio Sandoval, Jake Schindler, and Chad Vandergriff, the penalty kill unit here for Florida. Escoto, who's been close here tonight. Anthony Arrico on top. He's had at least one, maybe a couple of shorthanded goals in his Tropics career that I remember. Escoto on top to Liete, intercepted by Schindler. Sandoval tried to get it ahead to Arrico, couldn't do it. Arrico going to have to get back into the play here. Top of the arc chance. People down all over. Good block in front. I think Sandoval got in front of that big shot. Whatever it takes at this point. Still 1:19 to go in the penalty, and we have a media timeout. So 7:45 left to play. San Diego has 1:19 left on the man advantage. Don't go away. We'll see how it all plays out. Expect a fast and furious finish here in Lakeland tonight. It's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers 3. Back with the finale in just a moment.
Califino Tequila. Disfruta lo fino de la vida. Usa el código Sockers30 para su descuento del 30% en su pedido. Compra ahora en califinotequila.com.
As has become tradition here in Lakeland, one of a great U.S. service veterans being honored. Crowd comes to their feet here at the RP Funding Center for the occasion. It really has become a very, very nice moment. Might even have a medal for his marriage, 53 and a half years. Good for him. Chuck and Mindy being honored. I don't have their last name. I apologize for that. Tip of the hat from Chuck, and our sincerest congratulations for his service to our country. Really has become a very nice and popular moment here at Florida Tropics home games. But to the matter at hand, San Diego on the power play. Looking for the go-ahead goal. They have not led since early in the first quarter when they got the first 2 goals of the game. And then actually haven't led since the second quarter when the Tropics came out with 3 goals in the space of about 4 minutes to open that quarter. The only goal here in the second half belonging to San Diego. Boy, there's a takedown from behind on Arrico. Somehow no whistle. San Diego will come forward again. Escoto over to Jurado. Back on top to Liete. Arrico with a little pressure there. Boy, would it be fun to see Anthony shake free here. Jurado down low to Gerson, but knocked out of there by Chad Vandergriff. 40 seconds left in the penalty. Jurado. Ball down low to Gerson. Look out here. Silva comes out and makes a good save. He had Escoto wide open at the far post. They were both below the Tropics defense there. Now Liete down to Escoto. He bangs it off the wall short side. Can't get it through. De Oliveira fighting with Vandergriff. Leonardo going to come out of there with it with 11 seconds to go. Man advantage. Liete again down to Escoto. A shot. That one's blocked. Arrico this time got in the way. He's been out there the whole 2 minutes. Still loose. Now Escoto comes away with it. Look out here. Brandon Escoto. Shot. Silva with a big save. His biggest of the game on Brandon Escoto. Tavernisi was released. Arrico trying to get him. Tavernisi trying to get a shot away. He does. And Vanzella makes a save, and somehow no whistle there. Tavernisi was hogtied and still got a great shot away, and no whistle. Now a ball into Silva. Well, not a lot of goals, but a lot of action here as we anticipated in this fourth quarter. Here comes Bordeaux. Bordeaux to Rafa Alves, a little too in front of Rafa. Enrique along the boards. They're going to say play on. Alves with it. Down to Carvalho. Carvalho tries to get it in front. Enrique can't collect the loose ball. 5.5 to go. Vandegrift heads it back to the San Diego end of the field and right back Florida's way. Little back and forth here. Carvalho gets it to Enrique now. Has Bordeaux with him, but double teamed is Bruno Enrique. Still keeps it alive. Oh, and Carvalho was wide open but couldn't get there to get the shot away. He does keep possession for the Tropics. Alves with it. Now to Vandegrift. Back to Ricardo. Tropics going to get some fresh legs out there, including Victor Pereiras. Now Alves with it. Ian Bennett jumps over the boards. Bruno with it. Back to Alves. He may tee it up from distance. Does with a big shot. Misses short side. Boy, a rocket by Rafa Alves. Silva comes off his line. He'll bring it out towards the center circle. Gets it down to Enrique. Enrique still fighting. He's pulled down, and there's a hold and a whistle finally. Tropics haven't gotten a lot of whistles their way. Somehow Ruiz is going to complain about that. Here's Vandegrift. Over to Tavernisi. Tavernisi will play it back to Chad Vandegrift. Inside 4.5 to go. Will the next goal win it? Whether it's regulation or overtime, could be. Tavernisi can't control it. Vandegrift down to Tavernisi, but knocked out of there by one of the San Diego defenders. Still alive. Now Ian Bennett with it. Ian Bennett trying to create some space. Good defensive play there by San Diego. Still loose. Pereiras comes up with it. Pereiras being double teamed along the near board. San Diego will make the steal. It's Cerda. Coming up on 3.5 minutes to go. Long ball to Gerson, knocked away by Vandegrift. Tavernisi going to track it down, and he'll make the safe play back to Hugo Silva. No pressure on Hugo at the moment. San Diego going to back up here. So Silva will take advantage and at least bring it out to the yellow line. Leaves it for Jake Schindler. Knee-knocking time here in Lakeland, Florida. 3-all tie. Just over 3 minutes to go. Long ball down to Enrique, but Gerson steps in front. Then he overruns the chance. Bennett with it, but Gerson steals it right back, and he's taken down by Ian. Bennett says, "Who, me?" The official says, "Yes, you." Certainly a little bit of contact there. Not that Gordy would ever embellish. Here's De Oliveira. He's knocked around and loses it. Rico with it. 3-on-3 here for the Tropics. Over to Ian Bennett. Bennett's got some room to operate. Shot, and boy, he misses that one badly. Don't see Ian Bennett do it that often. Ball was bouncing a little bit on him and tried to let it fly from about 30 feet and missed by 30 feet. 2:46 to go. Well, we said next goal might win it, and that's looking more and more true here. Collision at the midfield circle. Sandoval and Jurado came together, and they're going to call San Diego for the foul. Alves win the restart. Back to Hugo Silva. Ricardo Carvalho. Down to Enrique. Enrique tried a little back heel to Ricardo. A little late in getting there was Rico. Now Carvalho with it at the yellow line. Moves in, shot well wide, and that will take a bad bounce off the boards for Florida fans. Goes out of play. 2:18 to go. Are we looking at our second straight overtime game for the Tropics here at home this weekend? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Enrique trying to find a teammate. We'll get it to Carvalho now. Plays it all the way back to Daru, but Silva will come out to track it down instead. Stephen DeRue ahead. Nice ball to Anthony Arico. Arico had a half a step there, gets it in on goal, but Van Zela able to easily scoop that one up. Now a whistle away from the play, and I think San Diego may have called a timeout here. Yeah, that's exactly what has happened. So Phil Salvaggio wants to talk a little strategy with 1:48 to go. Obviously, no sixth attacker situation as these two teams just one goal. It's been an entertaining fourth quarter, but just one goal so far here in the second half. It was a little bit tactical for a period there in the third, but things have opened up here in the fourth quarter. 3-3 tie. Tropics being outshot here this evening by 16-12 margin. San Diego out shooting Florida 5-3 here in the fourth. Of course, they've had the only power play above the elbow call against Zach Reged, but the Tropics were able to keep San Diego at bay, and we should update Zach Reged's situation. He is out of the box after also having to serve penalty time for a yellow card. Clay Roberts going to talk a little strategy. He's pretty animated over there as well. Can taste this one, but so certainly can San Diego. Remember, both of these teams lost last night, so the loser here tonight will have to play Sunday just to salvage one win from the weekend. But that's just how good all these teams are that are here, and if you're enjoying the action this weekend, these four teams will get together and do it all again in California in the middle of March. Tropics will play two games out in Ontario, one against the Fury, one against the Tacoma Stars, looking for some revenge after that tough overtime loss yesterday. So the coaches have had their say. William Van Zela will put it in play for San Diego. Who's got the magic moment in them? Long ball headed towards Ruiz, but couldn't get there. Pino steps up, and whistle and a foul as Ricardinho and Gordy Gerson collide. Saw Gordy exchanging a lot of friendly smiles and pokes with players during the pregame warm-ups. But it's all business now. Ricardinho with some pressure on the far side. It's a chance, long shot well out of play off the foot of Guerrero Pino. So down to 1:29 to go. Certainly now looking all the world like the next goal will win it. Will it be in regulation? Will it be in overtime? Nate Bordeaux will bring it back slowly here for Florida. Vandergriff lays it in for Enrique, who's getting a lot of time here late in the fourth. Clay Roberts showing a lot of confidence in the rookie. He lays it in front, but Alves a little late in getting there. Didn't want to take the chance of leaving things exposed defensively. Can understand that. Bounces through all the way to Alves. Enrique going to try and track it down, and he blasts it well out of play. 61 seconds to go, and Van Zela will get another goal kick here. Whoever wins this and probably whoever loses this will both need a shot of Calafino tequila tonight, maybe two. And if they're going to do that, the broadcaster will join them. Here's DeRue. Trying to battle at the midfield circle, still had it there for a moment. Now taken away. Vandergriff not called for the contact. Here's Enrique with it. Man down for San Diego. Enrique with the long shot, can't get it away. And they're going to finally blow the play dead. So Leonardo de Oliveira, who is motionless or pretty motionless at the referee's circle right near midfield. 31 seconds to go. Looks like maybe a left leg abrasion or injury. Phil Salvaggio wondering why play maybe wasn't halted earlier, but surprised actually the officials not making more of a deal that San Diego coaches all the way across the field here, but referees will say play on. Shane Butler, the senior official on the floor here tonight. Tropics will have the possession at the midfield line or just on the San Diego side of it. Reggett can't come up with it. Schindler trying to make the defensive play, gets it back to Silva. He'll play the long ball looking down for Ian Bennett. Bennett gets loose. Outside the yellow line shot, he just misses near post. Final 10 seconds and Ian Bennett, who's been quiet, had an opportunity. Schindler collides in there. We're going to head to overtime here at the RP Funding Center for the second straight night. Ian Bennett misses from probably 35 feet out. Had a pretty good look at it. But Van Zela was able to come out and challenge Ian. And Bennett tried to sneak it by on the short side and could not find the back of the net. So bonus ball here at Massalepalooza. Just what these teams need. Playing 3 games in 4 nights already. The Tropics will play their second straight overtime game. We'll have it for you when we return. It's the Florida Tropics 3, the San Diego Sockers 3, back in a moment for the finale.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic. We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Getting ready for overtime here in Central Florida, the Tropics and Sockers. For Florida, this will be their 10th game in franchise history that goes to an extra period. They will play sudden death, golden goal, 10 minutes of overtime, and if no one scores, then we'll go to shootouts, which the Tropics have never actually advanced to. And I guess if nothing else, if you're a Florida fan, you're hoping for a little longer overtime tonight. The extra session lasted all of 9 seconds Thursday when Tacoma, kind of on an own goal by the Tropics on a misplay between Hugo Silva and the defense, scored just 9 seconds into the extra period. Tropics, for the 4th time, will go into overtime at home. They are 1-2 in their history here now. Scored their first ever overtime win at home earlier this season against Kansas City. It was Ian Bennett who got the winner. Just trying to see how many times San Diego has gone into overtime in their history. I can't find that in their incredibly well done match notes. sure it's in there somewhere, but my thanks to Craig Elston and Jonathan Green out in San Diego for the great job they do in keeping us all informed in MASL land. But I'm sure it's been a lot because they've been around since 1978. But for the Tropics, it's the 10th time they've done it. Here's a chance in the corner, and a foul called against Tavernese, so right away, San Diego will get a very dangerous restart opportunity here. Boy, the Tropics do not want deja vu here. And San Diego's going to call timeout. They didn't really have the people on the ball that they wanted, or maybe they just wanted a timeout anyway because they weren't ready to take the kick, and the referees were counting on the floor. And if you don't get it off, and I think it's a 5-second count, you lose the opportunity to get that free kick. So San Diego called timeout, but that may have very well been the plan right from the get-go here on such a good opportunity deep in the corner to the right of Hugo Silva. Well, this has been a game that kind of shows you that they don't all have to be 12-10 to be entertaining. This has been well played, two very good teams, and whoever loses this one tonight, they'll be disappointed but won't have to hang their heads in shame. They both came out very motivated after losing yesterday and have played good soccer. And it's always fun to try and figure out who might get the winner in overtime. Would it be a guy like Escoto, who's been very quiet, but one of San Diego's best goal scorers for sure? Maybe Ian Bennett is due. He almost got the game winner with 10 seconds to go, but he has been held scoreless tonight. Pretty sure that's the first time all season he has been held off the score sheet, no goals, no assists. So Florida will put out Joey Tavernese, Yoshio Sandoval, Chad Vandergriff, of course, Jake Schindler, and Anthony Arrico. San Diego, among others out there, is Cerda, Escoto, De Oliveira, Liete, and Parapovic. Now here's a shot just off the crossbar high. Boy, that was close. Just missed. Game of inches. Taken away by Schindler. Gets it ahead to Arrico now. Arrico doesn't have any help at all. 1 against 4, and he's knocked off his pins, no whistle. Kind of trying to draw the foul there. Not a bad idea by Anthony, but he was badly outnumbered and kind of threw himself in there. Look out here, 2-on-1, but never got across to Parapovic as Sandoval made a good defensive play. Here's Carvalho. He's a little out of control and loses it. Got to play with some control here in overtime. Don't want to make a foolish mistake. You don't want to lose your aggressiveness, though, either. And Carvalho was trying to create an opportunity there. Had a very, very pretty goal in that second quarter. Liete gets around in front, loose in there, and again it's Sandoval who makes a defensive play. 2 nice defensive play by Yoshio Sandoval. Not one of the heralded stars back there defensively for the Tropics, but he's been great here tonight. Alvis with it, and he'll head it right back out to the midfield area. San Diego has had all the possession for the first minute and a half of overtime. Down low now to De Oliveira. Nice little ball off the boards to himself. Now it's Ruiz. He'll settle it and sends it back out across the line. Now down to Ruiz. Chance, and that one goes well off the mark. So the Tropics will finally get a possession here. More than a minute and a half in. It was Cerda who took that from the far boards and missed badly. Silva with the long outlet, and was to no one in particular. So this possession, unless the Tropics get it back, and they do. Pereiras gets it over to Bennett. He's got some room one-on-one. Tries to bend the long shot from 50 feet. Not really that close. Of course, with Ian Bennett, the scoring position is pretty much anywhere on the floor. Here's Daru with it. Pereiras. Speaking of people who have been pretty quiet tonight. But in a 3-3 game, a lot of good defense has been played. Enrique, he has been out there a lot. Maybe it's Bruno going to play the hero role as a rookie. Wouldn't expect it, but Clay Roberts showing a lot of confidence in the young man. Here's Pereira with a shot. More of a dribbler, never really got through. I think Liete may have gotten a little piece of it as well. Daru knocks it away, but San Diego gets it right back. Here comes De Oliveira. Look out, top of the arc, deflected wide. Look out, it's still. Cerda picks up. Daru finally back in defensively to provide some help. But the Sockers still control. It's been their overtime period for sure. Here's De Oliveira again with a shot. Hits the post, and it's in. Leonardo De Oliveira with a banker off the far post. San Diego controlled all 3 minutes of this overtime. And De Oliveira gets the game winner. So San Diego able to salvage one of the 2 games here to start this Sunshine Series. And the Tropics, the host team, a little bit of a surprise to be sure. 0-2, although they are really shorthanded defensively, and they're going to have to find a way on Sunday to see if they can salvage one when they take on the very impressive, at least so far, very impressive Ontario Fury. Well, another disappointing loss here for the Tropics. They at least played an extra 3 minutes or almost 3 minutes more than they did in overtime yesterday, but really no better result and no opportunities for the Tropics. San Diego had possession right from the start and basically did not give it up at all. There was just one goal kick for Hugo Silva that went to no one in particular, and San Diego just took it right back, and the Tropics never really did have anything close to an opportunity or even any decent possession anywhere on the field, and San Diego's Leonardo De Oliveira finally takes advantage with a shot to the far post. No disgrace to Hugo Silva. He did everything he could to try and reach it, but with those 14-foot wide goals in this game, those kind of shots will sometimes find the mark, and De Oliveira is as good as anyone in the league in doing that. So the final, again, here tonight, San Diego wins it in overtime by a score of 4-3. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast here on Facebook. Thanks to Flight, the official soccer ball of the MASL, for providing the free coverage. Congratulations to the Sockers on their win, and we'll see if the Tropics can regroup for Sunday. Don't forget, we'll have action 9 o'clock West Coast time, and that's a noon start here Sunday in Lakeland as San Diego and Tacoma will start things off, and then a 4 o'clock Eastern broadcast on Sunday to wrap up this series as the Florida Tropics will host the Ontario Fury. So the final, once again, the San Diego Sockers 4 and the Florida Tropics 3 in overtime. We will speak to you again at 12 noon Eastern on Sunday. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.